ETS is a global technology company. I always joke in calls, Anthony, if electricity runs through it, you can just give us a call and we'll help you find and solve a problem for it because we're problem solvers.
I'm Mainul Khan, founder and CEO of Field Nation. I'm pleased to be joined by Michael Ascolese, co-founder and CEO of Edit Technology Solutions, or ETS, a standout IT field service provider based in Los Angeles, California, with a growing global footprint. ETS has made excellence in service delivery their North Star by supporting small businesses to enterprise clients with a personal touch and a relentless focus on customer experience.
That's us today. Managed services, professional services, which includes field services. We can support all different types of verticals: healthcare, legal, real estate, manufacturing, entertainment.
How did you get started with the business?
When I was 25 and ambitious, a friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to start a computer company?" We started selling computers. We started discovering that they needed support on these computers that they were receiving.
25 years old, full of dream, and you saw an opportunity and you dove right in.
After more time, found that using the monthly recurring revenue model, found it was very successful to help our customers understand having a budget and helped us grow the company. In that time, it really moved us forward.
As I understand, field service is a relatively new offering for ETS.
Well, as we changed ETS from more of a boutique company in Los Angeles dealing with high net worth clients and moved towards the enterprise, we found that we needed to expand the ability to deliver the services, and we had to find a way to spread that around globally or through the US. And we started partnering with other companies.
What's the difference between field service versus remote support or virtual support?
Field services, you need to have the project coordinator, you have service delivery managers, you have to coordinate with the customer, you have to check schedules, you got to see if there's materials needed.
Yeah.
It's a big process just to send a tech out to do one, simple project, maybe to go install a computer. You still have to do all the steps. With remote support, it's far less coordination, far less people involved and staff involved to complete a job, right? So you get a ticket, the remote person can take the ticket, fix the problem, close the ticket, you're done.
To that, let me ask you, if you can give us some ideas as you start from no field service to scaling at a global level, what are the roles and functionalities people need to think about to build that field services organization?
Well, you really have to start with the program management, the overall program. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to solve? I haven't had any real competition because the service delivery is different on how we approach it.
What's the recipe behind the success?
Really communicating very well. We document everything and we stay on offense with our customer. You have to build the processes. When a project becomes, goes from an opportunity to you get a PO and becomes a project. What's that process? How you get your team engaged at that point when it's time to start reaching out to find the technicians. You have to have program managers that can see the big picture. We have the project coordinators who go and find the technicians and coordinate internally. And we have the service delivery managers that work with the project coordinators, the program managers, and speak with the clients and the technician. So they're the communicator for everything. Gotcha. on the client side.
Okay.
And that's how we do that. So you have to invest in people, in good people that understand the work that you're doing to make it work.
What's your experience like working with contractors?
Our challenges with working with contractors is controlling the communications and the documentation.
Okay. How did you fix it?
We use our own program managers, our own service delivery managers and project coordinators. All of them work in technology. So they've worked in help desk, level 2, they've been engineers, they understand technology. So when they're speaking to the technicians, they can speak clearly on what needs to be done. If the technician needs help, they can help them immediately. And if it escalates a little more, we always just bring in one of our engineers and say, let's help them solve the problem. And we all work as a team.
Having an in-house technical resource who can speak the language with the technician, understand the technical problem, and can be available to the techs when they have a need and a problem is a huge help in the process.
And because we're big on communication and documentation, we decided we need to do this ourselves. So let's own this. So we figured out how to make that happen, and once we got moving, it really took off.
If someone is listening to this interview and they have a problem field service delivery wise, why would they call you?
I believe they would reach out to us because we generally care about the end result for our customer first. First and foremost is the end result for the customer, good service delivery. So we start there. Our ability to communicate, ability to provide documentation of what's going on real time or at the end of a project, however it needs to be delivered, we provide actual documentation that shows them exactly what's happened, how it was done, and it creates the efficiencies with the communication especially. We like to make sure that they understand what's going on from start to finish. Give them the opportunity to decide what they want to do versus us controlling their day where they're stuck waiting. And then during the project, we reach certain phases of the project that we all know where we need to hit in milestones, and we communicate with them on where we're at. And if we run into a challenge, the switch is not working properly, it's delaying the process. Would you like us to revert back, go figure out what's going on, and then continue?
Right.
So that way you don't have downtime in the morning and all your users are still working.
What's the hardest part in offering the field service to the clients?
Convincing them that yes, we can provide the service delivery, and it takes a few tries. After a few projects, a few jobs, they start seeing that you guys can do the work, and getting past their PTSD from past performances.
Because field service, I'm assuming, is probably the hardest part of the business, so everybody struggles.
It all starts to snowball after a really good field services delivery, because that's the one thing that does stand out over anything else.
So they give you the hardest problem to solve, and then you gain the trust, and then all of a sudden you get other things that you get exposed to, other opportunities?
Yes, we execute on the field services. Everything else starts to follow through.
So Michael, what advice would you give to other business owners to start their field services?
Invest in people to support your customers. It's very important that you build a team that can deliver the excellence in service that's required for field services. It takes a lot of coordination. You have to invest in the tools, configure them the right way, make sure that they're working for you so you can automate some of the processes so you can be more efficient. It allows you to have better communications as well, right? It really comes down to good process, good people, and good tools, and using the tools the way they're supposed to be used.
How do you build trust with the technicians, especially if they're independent contractors in the field?
We really focus on communicating properly with them, helping them understand what the work role is for the task at hand. We've found that they're relieved because they don't get that often. They usually make comments after a project and say, we want to work with you again because we actually knew what I was supposed to do. I was prepared. The other thing is we don't punish them for being efficient, as in if they're paid by the hour, for example, and a project takes a certain period of time and we have a budget for that, we still pay them that budget. We don't, if they're really good at what they do, they're going to work really quickly, right? So that's a benefit to the customer because now they can get started on their initiatives right away. So they're actually benefiting and actually saving money because they're already working. I always focus on our team first.
Right.
Because they're the ones doing the work. They're the ones I'm instilling the trust to be working with the customers, doing the communication, providing the documentation. So they're the most important piece. Without them, we can't deliver.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's really important to me that if you take care of your people, they'll take care of your customers. Customers are happy, the business will strive.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautifully said. It's employees are your biggest asset.
100%.
And you take care of them, they take care of their customers, and the business gets taken care of.
You got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome. Michael, it was so insightful. We learned a lot from your success and sharing your lessons with us. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.